All right, it's time for us to personalize our BFF, our very own personal periodic table elements. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to color code this and make this look absolutely beautiful, and we're going to organize it even more so by color coding it based on what groups that the elements belong to. And I guess what category, okay? All right, so what I want you to do right now, I want you guys to pick out 8 different colors and preferably very light colors. They can be crayons, colored markers, um, or I'd rather you stay away from markers, but colored pencils, highlighters are fine. But I want you to color very lightly and pick light colors because you're going to have to look at the periodic table and still be able to read the symbols and the numbers and things of that nature. Do not go out and pick out dark blue and black, okay? So go ahead and get your 8 colors now and let's get started. All right, so the first thing we're going to color is if we look here, we're going to go ahead and color the very first 2 groups, okay? The first 2 groups that we're going to color are going to be on the far left of your periodic table, and they're called reactive metals. The reactive metals you're going to find that are very reactive. They love to hook up with other elements, preferably the nonmetals, because they're always wanting to get rid of that electron in their outer shell. Because remember, the ultimate goal of all atoms on the periodic table of elements is to be full, fat, and happy. All right, so pick out your first color. So I'm going to go with red because I think of red. Okay, make sure you are creating a key up here at the top. So here I'm going to put reactive metals. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Ooh, that's not good. All right, pretty colorful though, right? Reactive. Gee, dang it. Metals. Jeez. Okay. All right, so what I want you to do, I want you to lightly color. I don't want you outlining it because you're going to do something else with the outlining later. So you're going to lightly go ahead and groups 1 and group 2, lightly color, and don't make it look like mine. All right, these first 2. Isn't that beautiful? That's pretty neat. Whew. All right. The next one we're going to color is going to be the transition metals. Transition metals we're not going to be learning too much about. That's something for you to learn in high school in your chemistry class because they have some special situations. Remember, as you guys go up on the energy shells in transition metals, they can actually get up to 18. But for your purposes in 8th grade, in your perfect world, the most we can get is 8 electrons in a shell after the first one, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and color our transition metals. So let's look at that. So pick out a different color. I am going to go with here. Let's go with, I'm going to go with black, okay? So make sure you draw your key up here. Transition metal. All right, and it's all these that are in the middle, the B's. Okay. Once again, I don't want you outlining. I just want you to color it. Okay. All right. And then I just noticed here that I need to go a little bit further down. So yeah, you're right. I need to go further down. Okay. All right. And this once again is our transition metals. Okay. Yay! All right, the next one we're going to color is going to be, after the transition metals, we are going to color the rare earth metals. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to color the third element that is in the first group of the transition metals, and then also down here at the bottom we're going to be coloring the top row. Okay, so make sure before you start that you get a different color. All right, so I'm going to use, for rare earth metals, let's go yellow. Okay, now you guys can choose any color you want. I'm just picking one. Okay, so here, rare earth metals. Make sure you're making your key. All right, it's the third one down, so it's lanthium, 57. And also, remember, it is the first row of the periodic table. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I need to move my table over here. And so it's the first row down here on the bottom. So you got to pick a different color for that. Okay, so this is going to make it interesting because I have to maneuver the periodic table around. So it's making things really interesting for me. So just kind of bear with me. All right, so now we're still working on the rare earth metals. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. It's crazy. All right, so I'm still using my color yellow, and then it's the first row on the bottom. Okay, rows, remember, go across. All right, and there are our rare earth metals. Okay. All right, now going back up here, the next one that we need to be responsible for coloring is going to be the non-metals, which you find over here on the very far right. Okay, and what's really cool about this periodic table is it has this dark line that will separate them for you. So I'm going to pick a different color. I always think of green, you know, like living and I don't know. So anyways, just go ahead and I do want you to draw the, darken that line as it is over here. All right. And then what I want you to do very lightly, I want you to go ahead and color. All right, to the far right. And don't forget helium. So I need to go ahead and scroll myself up here. Alright, and then the color here, remember this is going to be our non-metals. Okay? Alright, the next one that we are responsible for is going to be our halogens and our noble gases. So what you're going to do on this one, we're just going to outline those because they are going to already be colored. And then that way we can kind of keep track of it more. All right, so the first one you're going to be responsible for, I'm going to go ahead and choose the color purple. All right, so the halogens are actually right here. They are group 7. All right, and it's group 7. And all I said I want you to do is I want you to just outline it. Don't color it, okay? And make sure you label it up here. And this is going to be halogens. And this is actually called the salts. Because what they do is they form with the metals. They form with the metals and they create salts, okay? And they love, 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 love hooking up with group number 1, okay? Because there's 7, there's 1, and then we'll talk about why that is when we get to bonding, okay? So all I wanted you to do was just outline group number 7, and I want you to label it the halogens. All right? Okay, the next color that we're going to be using, all right, is we're going to be using, just pick a color. And this one we're going to be outlining once again just the outside of it. Don't color the inside. All right, and go ahead and I want you to label that the noble. Ooh, I don't like the way that writes. Ooh, that's terrible. I'm gonna change it. This is called the noble gases. Okay, So I'll make sure that we keep it straight here. All right, we'll just do that, but then not that. And then we'll write it in a decent color. Okay, and this is our noble gases. All right, now this is the last one, and it's 8. Yes, those atoms are full, fat, and happy. They are the royalty. They are the king and queen of all of the periodic table of elements of kingdom. Okay? And they don't like to play with people that are less than them because they're already full, fat, and happy, and they don't need to mingle with anyone. Okay? And they're not very reactive. Okay? They are dun 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 the noble gases. All right, we are almost there, guys. The last one here we're going to learn about is, I'm sorry, almost last one. The metalloids. Okay, so they are right next to the gases, and they're located over here on the right-hand side. So make sure you're paying attention because this can be tricky. All right, so pick another color. I think I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna go with yellow again. All right, so this goes from boron to silicon, arsenic, tellurium, and astatine. Okay, so let's go back and check our work here and make sure that we're on the right path. Okay, good deal. And then we got to go one more over. All right, so we should be good to go. All right. Okay, it's underneath silicon. Okay, so I'm going to go through this with you. All right, I want you to go ahead and I want you to just outline the metalloids. So you're going to start with boron, silicon, germanium, arsenic, antimony, tellurium, polonium, and astatine. Okay, and those are called your metalloids. Okay, I don't want you coloring those. I just want you to outline those. Okay? All right. Wow! The last one. You ready? You ready? 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 Okay, the last one we have here is going to be our reactive metals. Okay? And our reactive metals, that should be easy enough, right? Okay, so they're actually on the bottom here on the right-hand side of the periodic table, the last row, and then the last row. So let's go ahead and pick out a color. I think I'm just going to go with old-fashioned black here. And once again, you guys are just going to go ahead and outline this, all right? And this is called your reactive metals, okay? So make sure you got your key and make sure it looks a lot better than mine. Radioactive metals. Okay? All right, so remember you're going to go ahead and you're going to go with these down here at the bottom. I got finished.
Hey, are you almost done?
Almost, yeah.
Well, can I interrupt you for a little bit?
No, I just got a few more minutes. Okay. Okay, so the last one we're doing is the radioactive metals. Once again, I just want you to outline it. So you're going to start with bismuth